Please, fire away.
That's how it feel to be able to put that paper down, put that team down on paper. It's pretty impressive looking side.
Yeah, it's cool actually. There's been a lot of work behind scenes, definitely, to get this together, and I couldn't be happier. I'm not surprised by the quality we have there, the way they've bought into what we're about and this special occasion, and you know, gone about the business in a really professional way, but also enjoyed each other's company. So to have that squad on paper, yeah, fantastic for sure.
Is there a sort of barbarian style feel, just because you have a short turnaround with quite a few players who don't know each other, so maybe you wouldn't necessarily apply the same structures you would in normal club side?
Yeah, I think from the fact that it's a short turnaround, a short prep, certainly that does prevail. However, we've just tried to put a framework in place and encourage the boys to not be hijacked by any form of framework or structure, but to back themselves for sure. And you know, footy's footy, isn't it? We do the right things right and go forward well, and you know, clean out well and tackle well and all those things that matter. You know, the boys will be able to find a little bit of joy in the game that they want to be able to express. So from that perspective, yes, but I know the boys have been very diligent, very studious in turn of getting in front of things, and at the same time trying to make sure they find out a little bit more about each other on the training paddock, but also off the training paddock. And that's been really, really pleasing, the way that they've come together and you know, found a little bit more about each other. We've got more in common than we think, New Zealanders and Aussies, and we certainly have a common purpose this Saturday night.
With that in mind, common purposes, I mean, what are the goals? I mean, obviously you want to win the game, but are there other external goals? I mean, do you want to soften them up, bash them a bit, so make the Wallabies' job easier? Do you want to put on a show to promote the game in a part of the country that doesn't follow rugby? What are all your sort of list of items you want to tick off?
I'm going to sound pretty boring here. However, when the staff came together, our commitment was to make sure this is a players' game, and we do whatever we can to get these guys ready. We certainly want them to make sure that they feel it's their team, and it's the most unique opportunity. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, isn't it? It's 36 years. So we're not going to let that pass us by in terms of recognising that opportunity. In terms of where the boys want to take it, you know, this has been a slow build. There's certainly a lot of ambition and a lot of belief in the group already. You can feel it. I know that they want to be able to go out there and show the best of themselves, and each individual has a story of their own. They've got their own ambitions and opportunities beyond this. So it's important that we've all just got on board to be able to build something that we believe solid and strong. That starts with the connection piece, cohesion, putting some simple structures in with the coaches. You know, Ian Foster's been great, Simon Cron, Zane Hilton, and myself. We've just tried to put something as simple as possible so the boys can just enjoy the occasion. We're going to have to be physical. You know, they're physical. That's just part of the game, and I know that's just what the boys will deliver. But we want them to make sure they get the experience they want out of it, and it's a stepping stone for where they want to go.
Going down to the field and all on the jersey with so much gold on it.
No, you just embrace it, you know. Here to connect and here to learn about each other, and looking forward to a great opportunity this weekend. And like Liz was saying, it's a one-off, it's a unique opportunity, and something that I couldn't pass up.
Can you give us a sense of what you've been doing this week? Like, when did you join up? How much have you trained? Have you gone to the pub? Like, have you bonded the guys?
The opportunity was there to have a real good discussion about what this meant to us individually and collectively. Obviously, we've had 2 nights out having dinner, and the boys could have a beer if they wanted. That's fine, but they've managed that in their own way about how they connect, and those are important. But I do know front and centre has been the footy bit. You know, in the end, it's the 80 minutes that really is the only thing that really matters. But that only gets good if you connect, and the boys have found their way to connect, not only on the training paddock, as I said, but also out for dinner, days off, coffees together, people just rooming together in different ways, and not just having people that know each other together. All those things have been put in play, and I think it's made its mark.
So have you done, 2
training sessions? We've had two and 3 sessions, and we've got another half a session tomorrow for captain's run. So, and I think 2 gym sessions, or 3 now, 3, so, or 3 strength sessions. So we've tried to put that type of professional rhythm in there in play, because some of the guys will have to go on to some further things and make sure we keep those things in place. And at the same time, let's go out and enjoy ourselves.
This is a left field question, but seeing as you're playing as Aussie and New Zealand, could you ever see there being like a Southern Hemisphere equivalent to the Lions, like playing with South Africa perhaps, and going on a tour like the Lions do? Like, would that ever work?
I think you'd have to ask the players that, but you know, there is a sense of something that's really built nicely here.
Yeah, that'd excite me, you know, why not?
Lucan, what about you? Would you team up with a box?
Yeah,
Make a sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, the Southern Hemisphere Lions, but the equivalent?
yeah, why not? It would be something that I guess would excite everyone in rugby, so it's above my pay grade.
Look, I've also been like, you know, being in and around New Zealand fellas this week, what is like battles, you've obviously been in heaps of them, you go hammer and tong and there's plenty of feeling in there. How's that been, you know, like has that been a process to get to know each other and then maybe get over some running battles in the past and that sort of stuff?
I think it's been easier than what people probably imagined it to be. Like Les said, we've just been connecting both on and off the field, and you know, the best way to connect, I believe, is over a beer. So I've had a few of the boys that I've sort of didn't like in the past or didn't really know, but like Les said, we've got a lot in common, more than we think. So it's been such a special week, and something that we look forward to you know, keep doing, because we touched on in the team room that it's an opportunity that we've only got, and this team will never be formed again. So I think we're all excited about the idea of that, and you know, ultimately we've got a job to do come Saturday. So we're looking forward to that.
Does it have a different feeling to the Barbars in the sense that you are representing countries, 2 countries, you know, the names are on the chest sort of thing? Does it have a different feeling to kind of a Barbars week where it's hit and giggle at the end of the day?
Yeah, I've never been a part of the Barbars, so whoever's the coach out there, don't be afraid to reach out to me. But yeah, I would say it would mean a lot more. You know, given the history between both nations, it's special, and there's a connection there that's been there for as long as everyone knows. So look, the opportunity that we have to sort of come together, something that doesn't happen too often, is really special, and I think everyone that's involved are doing everything they can to make sure we get the job done on Saturday.
Les, can I ask, you obviously faced the Lions with the Reds, and you've seen 2 games since then. The Brumbies and the Tars really seem to get stuck into them at the breakdown. Is there anything you've learned that you would do differently? I know there's a different group of players, or anything that you've identified that you would like to go after?
No, I think speaking to Simon Cron, who led the force, speaking to the Waratah players, that all of us weren't far off what we tried to do. It's just you know, a few things just work better in some of the games for each of them. What we have seen is, you know, there's the Brumbies and the Tars certainly put a bit of doubt in their mind at times, and probably hassled their game. So that intensity has to stay up, and has to stay up for the 80 minutes. We know they're a bloody good side, that's for sure. But you know, we just got to stay in the hunt always, and by staying in the hunt, we can just grow ourselves and build our connections better and get on the front foot, hopefully more often than not. You know, they're going through a touring process. You know, it's a difficult thing to go, you know, Dublin, travel, play a game, Wednesday travel, you know, play another game, training, not getting all the sessions in. That can be quite an arduous process. So, you know, they've got to try and manage their resources well and how they're going. And you know, we've got a clean run at this group, bar 5 blokes who played on Saturday. So we've got a clean run of it. We're nice and fresh, and we'll go out and see what happens. So
the Lions are undefeated so far. What would it mean for the whole tour to knock them off?
Argentina beat them, didn't they? No.
Well, since
you mean the tours?
Yeah.
What was the question? Sorry,
what would it mean for the whole tour, just to give it a kick along to knock them off?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interest there at the moment. But if we got a win, yeah, it'd definitely light things up, wouldn't it, a bit further? And you know, we want to be able to make sure that we're focused on what we can do to win. You know, I mean, the win would be great for us. We've already talked about making sure we don't get lost in that. We know that we have the capacity and the type of play to do that. We just need to make sure we do what we do well, and if we do that well, why not? But this group has been adamant on day one. That's really focused on getting the little things done all the way. And if we're sitting in that dressing room at the end of the day with that, then we'll know why it happened. We're not going to get a runaway with the possibilities. But a win or a loss for the Lions, that certainly changes the way the tour looks for sure.
Can we get Pele's perspective on that? I mean, have you, like, the belief you have with the quality you have on, especially the back row, is just stacked, that you can do something quite special?
Yeah, why not? You know, it's you know, we all want to win for sure, but it's about how we do that, and they're a great quality side, so we're only going to be together for 6-7 days, but like Lee said, we've got some awesome opportunities in front of us, and we just want to be able to go out there and express ourselves both as Aussies and Kiwis, and yeah, to be able to wear the green, gold and black is pretty cool.
Did you ever cross the paths with Henry, by the way? At Saints?
Yeah.
What was he like? What do you remember of him?
Just what he is now is what he was then. I think he's not short of, I guess,
Confidence.
yeah, confidence in that. But I mean, that's what makes the player he is, right? We're all different guys, you know, thrive in different ways. But he's a quality player, so I'm not surprised at what he's done so far.
Les, can I ask you about, we don't quite know what that team's going to be yet, but it seems that Owen Farrell's going to be involved somewhere. Just your coaching perspective on him as a athlete, player, the history he's had in the game.
Yeah, I've coached against him with Ireland at the Saracens when I was in the English Premiership. Obviously, he's one of the greatest competitors I've known, and any team that he's in is they certainly know what it takes to win when he's around. So the type of competitors will come through. If he's involved, it'll certainly help him for sure. If Pollock's involved, even better, because we all respect what he can do. He's some talent and a good player, and I expect he might be around the edges there as well. I'd probably expect both of them will be somewhere in the mix, yeah.
And with Owen, he's one of only a tiny amount we've played on a proper tour.
Yeah.
Because after last time was COVID and everything else. So again, in that sense, how important is that on a trip like this, do you think?
Oh, it's massive. Yeah, I mean, you can understand why he was brought in, his depth of experience, understanding that the tour does get to a point, and it does start to get arduous. You're travelling, unpacking, packing, all those things. You need people who've been there, and that's why losing Elliot was pretty important for him. He'd been through a lot. And it makes sense. It makes sense that someone knows just on the edges, even if he's not involved in the 23, he will make a difference, that's for sure. And if you join that up with the likes of a Sexton who's off the pitch as well, you know, you've got two of the best competitors I've ever seen on the footy pitch, so they're up there, aren't they? So.
And he hasn't had that much rugby this season. He's had quite a few.
Yeah, I don't think
they're enduring kind of qualities there that you see.
Yeah, I don't think that matters. People like him, they bring it no matter how much footy they've had. You know, if it's the first game of the year in any season, he's not holding back. So, no issues there.
David, with the unfortunate injury to Noel and Alessio, Wallabies are casting around for some new 5/8s. Can I just get your impression of Tane in the couple of days you played with him? But second part of that question, you obviously played with James O'Connor as well this year. Maybe just give us an idea of your impressions of both of those guys from your experience with them.
It's been cool working with Tane. Like I've played against him for the last sort of 4 or 5 years now, and to come in and see how detailed it is around his game and his skill set has been great, and certainly learned a wee bit off him around how he plays the game and how he sees it, which is great. And yeah, obviously Jock played with him through a few full Super Rugby campaign, and I think the experience that he brings to our young teams was massive, and if it probably wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't have got the best out of our 2 young boys. So he's great, but whichever way they go, they'll both do a job for the country.
Just talking about the benefit of experience here with Owen, could you see the benefit of someone like James's experience being helpful?
I can see both sides really. Like I said, they're both completely different players. Tane's, really competitive. You can see that at training, and Jock's probably someone that's a bit more older, a bit more experienced, and potentially would come off the bench for that 20-minute or however they decide to use them. But both got awesome skill sets, and love to see both of them in there.
And Les and maybe Luke, will you take things away from the Reds game, learnings in that game, and have you applied it to this? I know it's kind of, you don't know who you're playing, but...
We certainly have,
Yeah.
but that's in connection with what Simon and the Force have had, what the Waratahs felt, and where they felt some leverage points, but also, you give them too much room to move, they're dangerous. So there's a lot of learnings from all the games, and we're excited by the fact that we've been able to bring a different group together. The New Zealand boys have really, given everything. I don't think anyone here has held back anything and said, I won't say anything about how we can play the game. Everyone's put it on the table and said, let's see what we can do together. It's not a secret society thing at all. Everyone said, let's do this. This is how we do it. Maybe this works better. The camaraderie and the collaboration has been brilliant, that's for sure.
Maybe I'll just change the question to how does it feel to have another crack so soon after, obviously disappointing result on the night, but how does it feel to have another crack?
Yeah, you want to play against the best all the time, right? So I guess the opportunity I have to play against the Lions again is something that I was really looking forward to, and hopefully it's not the last.
Luke, have you played against Owen much with Saints and Australia? Would you have come across him?
Yeah, played against him once when I was at the Saints.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that like as an experience, like being on the opposite side? Is he quite loud?
I think it's just that competitiveness that he has, that Liz touched on. I think that's probably one of his strengths that he has over, probably other guys in his position or throughout the world. He's just an unreal player, isn't he? And he's shown that throughout the course of his career. So, we'll be ready for him if he plays.
Do you see a bit of him? Sorry, he's always been, particularly when we used to watch the games in COVID, you could just see how loud he was. Is that rare as a 10? I mean, I guess you played with Dan Bigger, who was probably similar to that.
Yeah, Biggs was similar to him. It looks one way, but it comes across a different way, right? Like he's just demanding the excellence and just barking orders, which is what you want from your key game drivers. So, I've been fortunate enough to play with some of the game's greats and play with some of them as well. And I think this week is also another opportunity to play with some awesome players and players you probably never thought that you would line up alongside. David being one of them. You touched on the back row. There's so many boys that I could mention. It's really special.
Luke and David, have you been particularly impressed by a particular Lions player on this turf, or a guy you'd like to go up against, whether again or the first time?
Probably for me, Sione Tupulotu, he's been awesome. I think when he's come back from his injury, he's just been a great ball player, big body, and every time I've come up against Scotland, he's been an awesome guy to have a yarn to after the game, and really down to earth. So I think he's been going great.
Anyone you were particularly impressed by in the previous game, or you'd like to have another crack at?
I'd like to have a crack against any of their locks. Itoje's a world-class player, so you want to test yourself against the best. He's been up there and been one of the best for many, many years. So a few other boys, all the Saints boys, I've been pretty happy to see them go well. Tommy Freeman's someone who's that I rate really highly. As well as Alex Mitchell, so anyone in a red jersey, I'll be keen to play against.
David, can I just ask from New Zealand's perspective? It's only been a short period, I suppose, a couple of training sessions. Have you learned anything about Australian footballers that you didn't know from played against them, from training with them, talking? Have you learned anything at all?
I think just the level of detail that they go to. It's great to have such good minds of the game, and they just see it a wee bit differently. Like it's pretty similar, but it's the way they see the game's a wee bit different. So it's been cool to have that refreshing feel, and I think the yeah, the best thing for me is just is connecting with the guys that you don't get the opportunity to play with. You're always playing against them. So, like Luke Hart said, like, yeah, being able to have this guy on my team is pretty cool. It's not great when he's running down your channel, so to have him on my side for once is going to be awesome.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.